Hey guys, it's Derek and Lindsay here. I'm going to tell you a secret of how Derek saved $12,000 on just one thing alone. But we're going to give you some examples of how we've saved thousands of dollars this year.
This year alone. So stay tuned, guys, because this is immediate and it's things that you could apply right now, and I guarantee that you'll be able to save at least several $100s by listening through some of the things that we've personally done.
We're going to tell you a lot about how to save and be frugal and just cut corners where you can in places that we have and in places we know that you can. So a little bit about us. When Derek and I got married, we were poor college students. We did not have any money and we were just living off of our measly $8.30 an hour part-time jobs and, you know, some Pell Grants and some scholarships. Extra poor. And then after college, we moved to Arizona. Derek started work as a stockbroker, but we still lived really frugally because we wanted to grow our nest egg. We wanted to get ourselves really financially stable because we knew we wanted a family and we knew we wanted to buy a house. And so we prepared for those things really early on in our marriage.
Guys, we had a bunch of goals. We had a lot of financial goals. We want to become wealthy, and if you're new to the channel, we talk about how you can save money, be frugal with your money, invest, become wealthy. That's our goal. And so if you're new to the channel, make sure you smash that like button and make sure to subscribe. Also, we love to hear your comments, so please leave anything down below. We do engage with you. We're curious about your personal journey in becoming wealthy, and we want to do everything that we can to make sure that you can reach that journey with us.
All right, you guys, we're not going to leave you on the hook here. We're going to tell you exactly how Derek has saved over $12,000.
Okay, so $12,600 is a lot of money, but I'm a little embarrassed to say that it's nothing sexy. It's nothing that would wow anybody.
Didn't trade on options?
It wasn't option trading. It wasn't trading on margin. It wasn't anything investing related. It was cutting my hair. Yeah, believe it or not, I cut my own hair for the last 15 years, and the only thing that I've had to pay for it were 2 haircutting kits, about $25 each. So I've only paid about $50 in 15 years to cut my hair. But I mean, think about it. So here's the easy math. On average, with tip, it's about $35 for a haircut. Then I cut my hair about 2 times a month. So that'd be about 24 times a year, times 15 is about $12,600. Now, given a little fluctuation, that might be on the high side, but give or take a little bit, it's still thousands of dollars that I've been able to use elsewhere because I didn't use it to cut my hair. It's a small thing, right? Some people think about, hey, maybe I could save a little bit of money by having coffee at home instead of going out to get it. Those things add up. Over a decade, over more than a decade, where could you put that money that costs so little in the moment, but over decades could become wealth?
Well, we did the math as well. So like this year alone, you will save $840. So every single year, you're saving $840 by cutting your own hair. That's pretty good because considering the things that you can buy for $840, that's a couple of months of groceries. So let's go through a few more examples of things that you can definitely save on, things that we have done. These are areas that I know that you can apply to your own lives and your own situations.
Guys, we get really jazzed about saving money because you don't have to increase your income. You don't have to do anything special. It's just money you save is like money earned.
The first area we're going to talk about where we saved a ton of money this year is lawn maintenance. We have saved more than $1,600 in lawn maintenance this year.
Okay guys, $1,600 is a ton of money. So what we're going to do is break it down for you so you can see exactly where we saved and hopefully get your mind thinking about ways you can save as well.
So let's break it down. The first thing that you need to do with your lawn is mow the lawn.
So for us, we got a quote for somebody else to mow our lawn. We live in Florida, and the quote that we got was $80 a month. So that comes out to be about $960 a year. For us, it actually cost me, in that same time frame, $81. And the breakdown in that is gas, I bought an air filter, oil for the lawnmower, and then new blades.
So all those things combined were only $81, which is the cost of 1 month of having our lawn professionally done by someone else. And that's just to mow it.
The huge con to this is obviously time and being in the Florida humidity, sweating to death.
Yeah, absolutely. Our sprinkler system needed a lot of work. It needed to have some heads replaced and even added a line to it. So Derek ended up doing that himself after being quoted.
Now, the quote that we received was $400. For me to do it by myself, it cost me about $100. So in that case, we saved about $300 doing it myself. I replaced 13 sprinkler heads that cost about $4 each. I replaced 3 sprinkler heads that cost about $11 or $12 each. And then in a section of our lawn was dying, so I actually added a whole new section of sprinklers there as well. Now that one alone, they had quoted us $50, but I was able to do that for somewhere around $10 or $13.
The last part of our lawn maintenance for this year was our backyard flower beds, and they needed a lot of work done to them, and we got quoted for $500.
Obviously $500 was a lot of money, and we decided to do it ourselves. So for this one, it cost me $50 versus $500. So immediately we saved $450 on this one. Now, the breakdown of this cost was I needed 10 bags of mulch, which cost about $2.40 each. We found them on sale. We also purchased 100 yards of weed tarp at about $26. But for us to be able to save $450, it was a no-brainer that we were going to take that option. All right, guys, the second one is clothes. This is a no-brainer. Clothes are so expensive, especially depending on where you go to shop for them. Clothes have crazy margins on them. This year, Lindsay and I saved $190 on clothes. We don't shop very often. In fact, this year was one of the years that we spent $110. We went to Ross, we purchased a bunch of clothes. Now, I say it kind of heavy because we actually don't buy clothes very often. For us to spend $110 on clothes is quite a bit. Now, some of you might be looking at us thinking, well, what's wrong with you guys?
What do you wear?
What do you wear? What do you do? Well, we stay home during this current time, and we also have 2 kids that destroy most of our clothes anyway, so it's a little hard for us to want to spend money on clothes. But guys, this is where you could save hundreds of dollars, depending on who you are, how often you spend. Now, for some of you, this will be a good saving opportunity. If you're trying to get out of debt or build wealth, how much clothes do you purchase? Do you frequently shop? Where do you shop? I do want to put a plug in here that I do believe it's a good idea to have at least a few articles of clothing that are nice, that are expensive, good quality, that will last for a long time. So I'm not saying, hey, everything that you own should be cheap, secondhand.
I never buy full price clothes. I mean, never. I really love Old Navy, but I never buy full price clothes. I just don't. Like, there's no reason to. I definitely spend more money on the kids' clothes. That's for sure.
That's true. Kids' clothes, well, they go through them, they destroy them, they stain them.
Okay, so the next thing this year that saved us a ton of money was the radiator in my car. And when I first got it quoted, it was quoted at over $700 to change out my radiator.
Now this is going to be a little bit more difficult for you to say, okay, well that's where I could save money, because we're not all mechanics, and let me be honest with you, I am not a mechanic. But in this one we spent $65 versus having the mechanic do it for over $700. Now I will say in this one, I was furloughed, I had a lot of time on my hands. So I spent over 4 hours researching how to fix a radiator or replace a radiator in a car, and then it took me several hours to actually do it.
This next thing saved us $2,600, and it was our refrigerator. Now, our refrigerator has been bugging Derek
for 8 months.
For months and months.
For a long time.
Because it just did not work properly, and we were really considering just replacing the whole thing. And to replace it would be $2,600. So here's our point with this. When it comes to appliances, especially name brand appliances, call them up. So our fridge happens to be Samsung. We called up Samsung and we were like, hey, you guys, what can you do for us? Our fridge is just, it keeps going on the fritz. And the first person Derek talked to was like, well, it's out of warranty. Have a nice life.
Yeah, so what did I do? I called back.
He called back.
I said, look, I need some help. Can you talk to your manager? Maybe they could help us out. So the individual put me on hold, and they talked to their manager and came back and said, Derek, I've got great news. That part is actually on recall, and we can have a maintenance guy come out and replace it for free, and we'll cover the labor and the part. I was like, great! Obviously, if we were to replace it, we didn't have to get the exact same fridge, but the house we purchased, it came with this fridge. If we were to replace that exact same fridge, it's $2,600. So the point here is we saved $2,600, assuming we purchased the same fridge, because we called and we were persistent.
Always just do some research, ask, poke around, see if there's any way that you can just get some things covered. The next place that we saved big this year was on insurance. We switched insurances to do the exact same coverage, literally the same coverage, but for $40 cheaper every single month.
This is something that everybody can do. This is a good opportunity for you to potentially save a little bit every single month.
Earlier this year, our air conditioning unit was on the fritz, so we had an AC guy come out and look at it and gave us a couple of quotes for some parts that needed to be replaced.
So to have the AC guy come out, it cost us $65 for him to come out. Now before he came out, I had diagnosed part of the problem and I had gone to a store and purchased the part. It was $15 for the part. By the time he got back to our house, he checked our AC unit and the part that I had purchased he said had gone bad. I asked him how much would it cost for him to replace it versus me doing it, and he quoted me, get this, $200. And let me simplify what the part was. It was a capacitor that you just have to plug 3 prongs into and you're literally done. So the next thing, he checked another part and it was another capacitor in the unit. And for this one, he said, hey, do you want me to replace this? I asked him, how much is it gonna cost to replace that? He said, get this, $100. This one had 2 prongs that you unplug and plug in and you're done. So I said no. I then looked it up and found that part for $3.
$3 online.
Online through Amazon.
Got it on Prime.
Got on Prime, got it here in 2 days, and then I replaced it for $3 versus $100. Fixing the shower. This is another maintenance one, but for me, it cost me $12 to fix a few issues that we had with our shower. I did get a quote. It would cost $60 for the maintenance guy to come out and then $120 an hour to be able to keep working on it. So it took me about an hour to fix this. I would assume it would take them less than an hour, but in this particular one, they would have charged me, let's say $180. I was able to do it for $12.
At this point in all of our savings, we have saved $6,811 just by doing these things by ourselves or at home or without hiring outside help. The next thing that I'm going to touch on is something that I don't really have a quote for because it's groceries. Because where's the limit on groceries, right? I could spend an umpteen amount of money at the grocery store if I so chose. But I have a limit, and I'll go ahead and put in the cards for you our budgeting video because in this video I go over this a little bit. First things first, given the environment that we're in, I have not been going to the actual grocery store to do my big grocery store pickups because I've been shopping online and doing grocery store pickup. Now, this is a great way to save money because you are only shopping for what you need. You're not seeing things on the shelves. You're saving a lot of money up front. Another way is to not buy name brand things. Now, there are some things that we're not willing to compromise when it comes to name brand, like toilet paper and things like
cereal.
That. Yes, cereal.
Seriously.
Overall, there's a lot of really good comparable things that you can get for off-brand. The other way that I save huge on grocery shopping is meal planning. If you're going to the grocery store every day or even multiple times a week, you're spending way more money than you need to. So I always make a meal plan, and I do this once a week where I plan out our meals for a whole week, and then I shop online and I get all the groceries that I need for the whole week. So I spend less time at the grocery stores. And if I so need to pop in and grab something at the grocery store, I am basically guaranteed to get more than what I anticipate. Like if I'm like, oh, we're running out of milk or we're running out of bread, I need to run and pick it up. I almost always come out of there with more than just that loaf of bread or just that gallon of milk.
Yeah, you have to run through the whole store just to get those items. And by the time you come back, you have a little bit more than you planned.
And that's by design, guys. That is by design. There's a reason why the milk is in the back. The bottom line for grocery store shopping is to search for the deals, but also limit the amount of time you go to a grocery store. That means if you can go to the grocery store once a month, that would be awesome. I can't do it like that. I have to go once a week, but the less time you spend in the grocery store, the more money you save. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. We really appreciate you and every single watch. Please comment down below if you have any comments on some of the saving tips that we recommended, or if you have one yourself, we would love to hear it. We're always looking for more saving tips. And before you go, make sure you hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.